What's your favorite Resident Evil? The video games, not the movies. Okay. Let's not talk about the movies.
Yeah. These are questionable.
Well, a good time as any to ask you about Resident Evil. It is Halloween.
For sure. I would say Resident Evil 5 holds a very special place in my heart.
Resident Evil 5.
It is the one that I've spent the most time on. I love the Mercenaries. I always played it with my buds. We had a fucking killer time doing that. Spent many hours and went through the campaign so many times.
You guys played a lot of like multiplayer on Resident Evil 5, didn't you?
Yeah, we played the multiplayer too, the online where you actually fought other people. It was it's not very intuitive. In fact, it was pretty frustrating a lot of the times. But
that's that's kind of the deal with Resident Evil cameras and controls, anyways. Like they're made to be like that.
Yeah.
Build that anticipation, that anxiety, that terror, that helplessness.
Well, I think a lot of people actually would shit on me for picking Resident Evil 5 as my favorite because I think a lot of traditional Resident Evil fans, the original ones, are like, we don't like that style because it's way more of an action game than it is a horror game.
Get the hell out of there!
Sure, but it's still got its horrifying moments. I mean, 4 is kind of like that, but 4 is one of the most beloved in the franchise.
Right, that would be my second place.
And 4 is when they really first started to change, like, the overall feel of those games. Because 5 is where I checked out. I played 6. I hated 6. Did not like it.
6 was, it was not one of my favorites.
2 is my all-time hands-down favorite.
Resident Evil 2.
Outbreak being my number 2. I love Resident Evil Outbreak.
Yeah, that's a unique pick, I think. I don't know if that's a beloved one or not.
I think it's probably in that camp of people didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and it's not like main characters.
No,
right?
no. This is like, it's an offshoot Resident Evil, so to speak. It's kind of like Resident Evil Survivor, but Survivor was garbage.
You run into an alley and fight the first zombie, and it's awful. You shoot him 4 times, he falls awkwardly and shits a key out. Seriously, look at it. It comes out of his ass. You know, I'm starting to notice a trend here. The zombie shits out a key, the helicopter shits out the main character, and Capcom shit out this game.
Survivor was the one that was like a... what is the mode? It's first person. Yeah, it was the first person Resident Evil. I don't know if it's the only one in the franchise, but it was the first one.
Which, speaking of that, the Resident Evil, I can't remember which one it is. Might be 7.
Honestly, there's so many of those titles anymore.
Like this creepy family, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre style.
I don't know if I'm familiar. Honestly, I don't know if I'm familiar with this one.
It's actually pretty good. Like, to be a first-person Resident Evil game,
I'm going to have to look it up.
They do that style well, too.
I've actually been kind of wanting to get into horror games, and I'm not even into that. I don't even like horror movies.
Yeah.
But I will say Resident Evil 2 is my favorite of the series. Just to jump back to it for a second.
What happens in that?
That's the one where I think it's Leon. You're using Leon Kennedy. It's oh my God, what is the place? Raccoon City. Like you're right outside the police department when it happens.
Oh,
that's the first place you really investigate is the police department.
They recently remade that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They recently had just made a remaster of that not too long back.
I played that, and man, that's one of those examples of games where you're scared.
Yeah, 2 is horrifying.
Yeah,
like it truly is to me. Whenever I first played it, I remember playing the first Resident Evil when it was like a demo. I don't know if it was a demo, but I can remember renting it whenever I was I probably wasn't even 13, 12, 13. That, like, Resident Evil 1, it freaked me out. That first cutscene where you find the first zombie where he's turning his head. Like, it looks goofy as shit now, but I played that in the dark for the first time. When I first played it, pitch dark in my room, like, oh, fuck. My skin crawled. I can remember that.